Hey, I'm Sam Abuelsamid, Principal Analyst with Navigant Research, and today we're taking a drive in the Kia Niro EV.
This is Twit. This episode of Hands on Tech is brought to you by Grammarly. Grammarly is a communication tool that helps people improve their writing to be mistake-free, clear, and effective. Start writing confidently by going to Grammarly.com/hot and get 20% off a Grammarly premium account today.
So this is the 2019 Kia Niro EV, the third member of Kia's Niro family, following their hybrid and plug-in hybrid models that have already been on sale for a couple of years. And it's Kia's second fully electric vehicle, following the Kia Soul that launched a couple of years ago. This one has a much longer range than the Soul did, more than twice as far, with an EPA-rated range of 239 miles, all on electricity. The main difference visually between this Niro and the other two versions is that there's no grill opening in the front. It's been blanked off, and you now have a charging port in the front that supports both AC and DC fast charging with up to 75 kilowatts, so you can charge 100 miles in about 30 minutes. And under the hood, there's no longer an engine, just an electric motor and the power electronics. It comes with a 64 kilowatt hour lithium-ion battery pack, and it's got room inside for 5 adults, and also cargo space for at least 4 roller bags, 4 standard size roller bags in the back. Back seat folds down. You have plenty of room to use it as an everyday car. And with this kind of range, it really becomes practical as an everyday car. You know, you don't have to use it as a secondary car or as an alternative to a gas-powered car. So the Niro, even in base form, comes very well equipped with lots of features. You get a standard 7-inch touchscreen display. There's a built-in navigation system that you can use to see how far you can drive on the available charge in the battery. You can also use it to find charging stations. So this shows us where there's charging stations nearby. You can also use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, and it supports both Google Maps and Waze. And you can use the voice control. Find DC fast charging stations nearby.
Showing results for Find DC fast charging stations nearby.
And the digital instrument cluster lets you see lots of different information, so you can see how much charge you've got left, how efficiently you're driving. It's got a driving coach system and shows you your driving style, so it shows you if you're driving economically or if you're wasting energy when you're driving by driving too aggressively. So far we're at about 71% economical driving and about 25% normal, about 4% aggressive driving, which, you know, when you're filming a road test, you're going to do a little bit of aggressive driving sometimes. You've got driving mode selector that lets you choose between eco, normal, and sport modes. So sport mode gives you a little bit quicker acceleration response. Eco slows it down a little bit so that when you step on the accelerator, it's not going to accelerate quite as fast, using a little bit less energy and giving you a little bit more range. There's an automatic climate control system, and in this premium trim level, you've got both heated seats as well as cooled seats. The seat cushions are ventilated, and there's a fan that runs through the seats to cool your backside. And if you get the premium trim level, you also get a heated steering wheel, which is very nice on cold winter mornings. The rear seats are also available with heating. Like most electric vehicles, the Niro lets you program when you want to charge. So for example, if you leave for work at 7 o'clock every morning, you can have it set to charge based during off-peak hours, or if you expect it to be cold or really hot in the morning, you can also precondition the car and have it either preheat the cabin or pre-cool the cabin with the air conditioning while the car is still plugged in, so you're not using energy from the battery, because it takes a lot less energy to maintain the temperature than it does to actually raise it or lower it. So that's a very handy feature to get, so you can get the most out of your available driving range. There's 2 USB chargers in the front here, one up here along with a Qi wireless charging pad. So if you have a phone that supports wireless charging, you can just drop it on that pad there. And then there's a second one here in the underneath the center armrest. And then the shifter is a rotary shift knob here. Press the middle to put it in park, step on the brake and turn it one way, put it in reverse, or drive in the other direction. And like most other modern cars, you've got a backup camera built into the tailgate. So when you put it in reverse, you can see what's behind you before you back up. This new all-electric version of the Niro comes with a 201 horsepower electric motor, and that's more than enough power to accelerate and easily merge onto freeways. You can get to 60 miles an hour in about 7 seconds. So this thing is not a glorified golf cart. It's not going to drag race any Teslas, but it's more than acceptable for your usual daily commute. One thing that the Niro doesn't have is all-wheel drive capability. For now, it's front-wheel drive only. It comes standard with a full suite of active safety features, including adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, and a lane keeping system. So once you get above about 45 miles an hour, it will automatically warn you if you drift over the line. And it will even do some steering assist to try to keep you centered in the lane, so that as long as you keep holding the wheel lightly, it will basically steer you down the road. Although it should not be considered a self-driving system. It's not intended to be autonomous, it's more of an assist system. The adaptive cruise control is standard on all 3 trim levels of the Niro Electric, but the base version only takes you down to about 10 miles an hour and then it kicks off. If you want full stop and go adaptive cruise control, you have to step up to the optional premium trim level. So the Niro has 2 cameras built in. One faces forward and it's mounted up here behind the mirror, and that one's used for the lane keeping system and the forward collision warning. And then there's another camera in the back for the backup assist. And the blind spot monitors, if you're changing lanes, if you turn on the turn signal and there's someone in your blind spot area, it will flash a warning in the mirrors, in the side mirrors. The Niro EV is going to start at about $37,500, which is pretty similar in price to cars like the Chevy Bolt and the new long-range version of the Nissan Leaf, as well as the Hyundai Kona EV. But the Niro, like the Kona, still has not hit the 200,000 sales threshold, so it's still eligible for the full $7,500 tax credit. Others like Teslas and the Bolt have already hit that threshold, so they're starting to phase out the tax credit. So they will actually end up costing you a little bit more. And especially when you consider all the standard features in the Niro, especially the safety features like the adaptive cruise, the lane keeping, the blind spot monitor, this is actually a really good value for what you're getting.
Thanks for watching Hands on Tech. Our show today brought to you by Grammarly. We all use it here at Twit. We love Grammarly. It's a communication tool that helps people improve their writing, so you can be mistake-free, you can be more clear, and ultimately more effective in everything you write. You can use it as a browser plugin. You can use it on mobile. You can use it on Windows. You can use it on Mac. Grammarly Premium does it all. They look out for spelling errors, grammar errors, plus advanced punctuation, style within context, conciseness, even readability for different occasions. Accomplish your goals with help from Grammarly. Go to Grammarly.com/hot and get 20% off your Grammarly Premium account today. That's Grammarly.com/hot for 20% off your Grammarly Premium account today.
A little earlier on, we took Leo out for a drive in this car, and here's what he thought of it.
Ready to drive. I'm going to switch this over to D. Yep. Locked the doors.
Yep.
Check the mirrors. Let's go for a little ride. It has something that a lot of gas cars always have, which is this kind of rolling thing.
Yeah, a little bit of that creep.
Creep, they call it sometimes. Can I turn that off?
You can, yeah. If you put it, if you tap the left paddle there and put it up to 3 on the regen, it will disable the creep.
So if I turn it to 3 regen, which is kind of full electric vehicle,
yeah,
it'll stay there.
Yeah.
Okay. When you're first moving from a gas vehicle, maybe you expect creep, maybe you don't expect the regen. It's kind of a nice way to ease into it.
Yeah.
But now, I kind of like having it'll be a pure electric vehicle.
Yeah. You know, if it's your first EV and you want to have something that's familiar, you can drive it that way, or you can drive it as something that's more advanced.
Now, this doesn't have a insane mode or ludicrous mode, but it does have that traditional electric acceleration, right?
Yeah, and it does have different modes. There's drive mode, and there's eco mode and sport mode, which will give you a little more acceleration.
Well,
in sport mode.
Why don't I just step on it here and see what happens?
Go ahead.
I love the sound of electric vehicles. This is much more normal. You don't get your head pinned to the back, but it's got a peppy pickup. I mean, it's as good as any gas vehicle.
It's got 200 horsepower.
Wow, that's quite a bit.
Yeah.
How widespread are the charging facilities for these vehicles?
Depends where you go. I mean, certainly here around California, there's quite a few of them around. In Michigan, where I live, in some places there are more, especially in city centers. You will often find them in parking garages and things like that.
Right.
Ann Arbor, close to where I live, has a lot of them. Detroit, not so many, but there's getting more all the time.
And the CHAdeMO chargers are compatible with this, right?
No.
No.
But almost all the charging locations now for the DC fast chargers, they usually have 2 cables on them. One is a CHAdeMO and one is a CCS, so you can go to almost any of the stations now and use either one.
Oh, that's nice. That's good to know. And how fast will it charge if I use the fast charging?
You can get about 100 miles in 75 minutes.
That's great.
80% charge, take just under an hour.
So typically what people who drive electric vehicles do is they'll stop somewhere, get a bite to eat, charge up while they're having dinner, and then go on with their journey.
Absolutely. And then, if you, for your normal daily driving, if you plug it in at night, unplug it in the morning when you're on your way, you've got more than enough range that you will probably never need to even plug it in while you're out and about doing your daily chores.
How's handling? I mean, I don't know anything about cars particularly, so it feels normal to me. Would you say this is a snappy kind of car to drive?
Yeah, it's got really nice, both good combination of ride quality and good responsiveness when you're driving through corners, so it's fun to drive. And because like other EVs, the battery is mounted underneath the floor.
So it's very stable.
You've got very relatively low center of gravity, which helps improve the handling. Even though it obviously adds a lot of weight, it makes it more stable.
And as you can hear, the road noise is pretty good. It's a fairly quiet cabin. It feels like a pretty smooth ride. We're not driving on the bumpiest road ever, but it feels like a fairly decent ride.
Yeah, I mean, I've driven it on bumpier roads. I've driven the Kona as well, back in Michigan where we have much bumpier roads. It's good. I mean, Hyundai and Kia have learned a lot about setting up suspensions and improving their driving dynamics. So, it's got a nice balance, for an everyday car, responsive handling, and it's still comfortable to drive.
It's a great little vehicle, I have to say. We're really looking at it because my Tesla lease is running out, and we have a 16-year-old, and we're honestly thinking this is probably going to end up being his first car. It's certainly the car he's going to learn to drive. And I wouldn't want him to learn to drive in a Tesla or anything that's too odd. This feels like a normal car. I think it'd be a good experience for him. As his first car. I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah, and like I said, it's got a lot of those safety features as standard equipment.
That's really important.
You don't have to pay extra for it.
Yeah, really, really important.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for letting me drive around in your Kia Niro. I'm pretty impressed. This is a nice vehicle. I've actually never driven a Hyundai or a Kia car.
They have come a long way in the last 10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
I mean, back when Hyundai first came to the U.S. market in the early 90s, and then Kia, let's just say they were not good cars.
Yeah.
They were very underwhelming.
Yeah.
But they have made tremendous progress in the last 15 years, both in terms of their design, the aesthetics, the way the cars look, but also the way they're built. Very, very high quality. Kia, for the last couple of years, has been ranked #1 in the J.D. Power Initial Quality Survey, above premium brands like Mercedes-Benz and Porsche.
Wow.
And Hyundai has been right behind them. So
they've really come a long way.
Yeah, and they offer great warranties. So they're definitely good cars to own.
Sam Abuelsamid, he's principal researcher at Navigant. He's our car guy. And we really appreciate the cars you bring by and a chance to see kind of what's happening in the state of the art, especially with electric vehicles. This is a very nice car. Thank you.
You're welcome, Leo. Always a pleasure.
Keep up with all the hottest tech news and gadgets. Visit twit.tv. There you'll be able to find and subscribe to all our tech shows. Thanks for watching Hands on Tech.